If you look at the most intelligent minds in human history, from Nikola Tesla to Albert Einstein, you'll notice a bizarre, recurring pattern. They didn't hang out in large social circles. They didn't spend their weekends at crowded parties or superficial gatherings. Most of them died almost entirely alone. For a long time, society looked at this and assumed that highly intelligent people were simply broken. We labeled them as socially awkward, elitist, or cursed with poor communication skills. But modern psychological data has completely flipped that narrative on its head. In a groundbreaking study published in the British Journal of Psychology, researchers analyzed data from over 15,000 individuals to understand what truly makes people happy. They discovered a massive anomaly. While the average human being becomes significantly happier the more they socialize with friends, individuals with a high IQ experience the exact opposite. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived as hunter-gatherers on the African savanna. In that environment, survival was an extreme team sport. If you were left alone, you were dead. You needed a tribe to hunt, to protect against predators, and to raise children. Because of this, the human brain evolved to release a massive dose of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, whenever we interact positively with our group. To this day, the average human brain is still fundamentally wired for the savanna. It craves a large tribe because deep down, it's still terrified of being left alone in the wild. But here is where high intelligence changes the game. Psychologists argue that a high IQ is essentially an evolutionary mechanism for novelty management. Highly intelligent brains are hyper-adaptable. They are uniquely equipped to solve complex modern problems without needing to rely constantly on a surrounding tribe. A person with a high IQ doesn't need a group of 10 people to help them navigate their day-to-day survival. Their brain has essentially transitioned past the primitive code of the savanna. Because they can adapt to the modern world independently, their subconscious minds don't feel the primal terror of isolation. While an average person's brain views being alone as a dangerous threat, a high IQ brain views it as a position of ultimate safety and clarity. There is a massive cognitive tax that comes with a high IQ, and it shows up most vividly during casual social interactions. In psychology, intelligence is closely tied to pattern recognition and abstract thinking. A high IQ mind is constantly analyzing data, looking for deeper meanings, processing subtext, and connecting completely unrelated concepts. They don't look at things on the surface, they dig into the underlying architecture of why things are the way they are. Now, imagine putting that high-powered cognitive engine into a typical social setting. The average social conversation revolves around what psychologists call phatic communication, or more commonly, small talk. Weather, celebrity gossip, office politics, sports, or complaining about daily inconveniences. For the average person, this is comforting and builds social bonds. But for a highly intelligent person, small talk is literal cognitive torture. It's not that they think they are better than everyone else. It's that their brain does not receive a dopamine reward for superficial data. When a high IQ person is forced to spend hours nodding along to a conversation that has zero intellectual depth, their brain experiences massive cognitive friction. They are burning valuable mental energy to suppress their own thoughts just to fit into the social rhythm of the room. Eventually, they realize that the return on investment for these relationships is completely in the negative. They leave these interactions feeling drained, exhausted, and mentally depleted. They realize that protecting their peace of mind is vastly more valuable than maintaining superficial acquaintances. Another core reason high IQ individuals keep their circles incredibly small comes down to a concept known as hyperfocus and long-term orientation. Psychological studies show a massive correlation between high intelligence and the ability to delay gratification. Highly intelligent people are rarely motivated by short-term immediate pleasures. Instead, they are deeply driven by long-term objectives, creative projects, complex problem-solving, or mastering a specific craft. When a high IQ individual gets locked onto a vision, whether it's building a business, mastering an art form, or researching a complex topic, their brain enters a state of deep flow. Human relationships by their very nature require an immense amount of maintenance. They require constant texting, hanging out, managing emotional dramas, and accommodating someone else's schedule. To a highly intelligent person, these social obligations are viewed as massive distractions from their life's mission. They look at a weekend and think, I could spend 8 hours drinking at a bar with acquaintances talking about nothing. Or I could spend 8 hours in total isolation, making massive progress on my goal. To them, the choice is obvious. They don't see isolation as a lonely prison, they see it as a luxurious greenhouse, where their intellect can actually grow, without being trampled by the demands of a social circle. There is a darker, more psychological element to this dynamic that people rarely talk about. Highly intelligent people don't just process facts faster, they process human behavior faster. Because of their high pattern recognition, a high IQ individual is incredibly adept at reading micro-expressions, sensing shifts in body language, and noticing contradictions between what a person says and what they actually do. They can spot a fake friend, a hidden motive, a trace of envy, or a passive-aggressive swipe within seconds. The problem with being hyper-perceptive is that you see the raw, unfiltered truth of human nature, and human nature isn't always pretty. Most people survive in social circles by practicing a form of collective delusion. They ignore the minor betrayals, they laugh off the fake compliments, and they play along with the social hierarchy. But a highly intelligent person cannot turn off their brain's analytical filter. They see the manipulation, the insecurity, and the transactional nature of the group dynamic clear as day. When you can see through the masks that everyone is wearing, it becomes incredibly difficult to form genuine bonds with the average person. You realize that most friendships are built on a fragile foundation of mutual convenience, and you choose to withdraw entirely rather than participate in a social theater that feels completely hollow. Ultimately, the choice to have no friends isn't a sign of weakness, misanthropy, or social failure. It is the natural consequence of an advanced mind filtering out the noise of the world. If you are a high-intelligence individual, your goal shouldn't be to force yourself into a herd where you don't belong just to feel normal. Your goal should be to embrace the solitude, use the silence to build your empire, and wait patiently for the incredibly rare individuals who can actually match your cognitive frequency. It is infinitely better to walk alone in the pursuit of truth and purpose than to lose your mind trying to belong in a room full of people who don't understand your language. If this video clicked with you, leave a comment below. Do you think having a small circle is a consequence of intelligence, or are we missing a piece of the puzzle? If you haven't done it yet, smash that subscribe button right now to join our channel. Drop a like to help push this through the YouTube algorithm so other independent thinkers can find it. And I will see you in the very next breakdown.